opposition.
Tonight, a land rezoning victory for Grant Council. Concern over bushfire risks in the upper southeast. And 8 Mile Creek hole goes under the hammer. Good evening. Those stories later, but first tonight, in the test case in the dispute between Tees Brothers Narracourt and the Australian Meat Industry Employees Union saw round one go to the Narracourt facility. Tees Brothers convincing the Industrial Relations Commission that it was not the forum to hear the complaint regarding Australian workplace agreements. The union, though, has vowed to fight on and will consider tomorrow taking the matter to the Industrial Relations Court, which is equipped to handle such complaints. The complaint dates back to Australia Day, when some workers failed to show for work and were stood down the following day as well. Grant District Council's Industrial Land Plan Amendment Report has been approved by Acting Urban Development and Planning Minister Carmel Zollo, making way for developments such as Bunnings to establish on rezoned land parcels. The plan also ensures developments won't be subject to lengthy court processes. It includes 5 sites for commercial, light industry, bulky goods, general and heavy industry developments.
The approval of the Industrial Land Plan Amendment Report has been a long and drawn-out 5-year process, beginning as a feasibility study in 1999. The plan now allows for a wide range of industry to establish or relocate to land parcels in the Grant District Council area, which are zoned correctly for their intended purpose.
It's great news that there are 5 land sites that have been rezoned for a whole range of opportunities, from commercial through to bulky goods through to industrial purposes.
The 5 sites have been allocated to enable business and employment growth in the area and is set to generate millions of dollars in revenue for the community. Hardware giant Bunnings previously lodged an application to develop on Jubilee Highway West. However, that proposal was met with an objection based on inappropriate zoning, forcing the fight into the Environment Resources and Development Court. A process that won't happen again, the approval putting an end to the need for lengthy court hearings.
One of the difficulties that we've had these days, I guess, is where you have a business that wants to relocate or establish, it's really got to be on land that's zoned correctly. Otherwise you get subject to either some residents, some minority groups or the applicant appealing to the Environment Resource and Development Court, and then it's tied up for a long time in the court processes.
Council continuing to discuss its plans with the company to ensure it can finally begin its multi-million-dollar development.
The bulky goods zone for Bunnings, and we're working with them in terms of approving that so that that can be up and operating as soon as possible.
The Cath-Perko Road proposed sites removed from the plan due to resident concerns.
We took into account the views of residents and their concerns that they relayed in relation to Cath-Perko Road. We have 5 sites now that have been rezoned. That will mean that there is land zoned correctly for industry to establish or relocate. It is a giant step forward for that, for business and employment growth.
Mount Gambier police travelled to Queensland last week to apply for a Mount Gambier woman's extradition back to South Australia. The 33-year-old had been due to face trial in Mount Gambier District Court in July last year, but failed to answer bail and a warrant was issued. She is accused of arson in relation to the $1 million fire that destroyed the Mount Gambier Family and Youth Services building in Elizabeth Street in April 2004. The extradition application was successful. The woman is remanded in custody of the Mount Gambier Police on her return to Adelaide. The woman made a brief appearance at Adelaide District Criminal Court on Friday, where she was not required to enter a plea and did not apply for bail. The matter is listed for further mention next Monday. Plans to convert more than half of the NGARKAT Conservation Park into a wilderness area are on the table at the moment, sparking fears the bushfire danger might only increase rather than diminish. Member for McKillop Mitch Williams urging residents in the upper southeast to tackle the department on its plans, which he says would reduce the ability to control burn and reduce fuel loading, 2 key factors in reducing bushfire threats.
While no bushfire is ever taken lightly, fires in the NGARKAT Conservation Park in our region's north are so commonplace and so rarely threaten life or private property that they're seen as par for the course. The park not normally going a summer without a fire, with every second year producing the more significant blazes, like the one earlier this month that destroyed around 80,000 hectares. There was around 12,000 hectares of private property destroyed this time round, and talks with residents have prompted the member for McKillop to take action.
I'm calling on the department to change the management or the way they manage that park.
He's calling for more controlled burns as well as a reduction in fuel load. He's concerned for the environmental integrity of the conservation park as well as the safety of nearby property owners, the reasons behind the call.
Certainly a lot of the flora will come back, and I've seen areas in old fire scars where the flora does come back, but the fauna has been devastated in that park in the last 10 years.
But plans put forward by the Wilderness Advisory Committee to convert around half the park to wilderness has the member for McKillop concerned.
And that will seriously restrict the department's ability to do things like control burning, to lower the fuel loading in the park, and I think it will actually restrict the ability to maintain that as a conservation area.
Mitch Williams encouraging people to get their hands on a copy of the proposal through his office and then get their submissions in by the March 10 deadline.
In what could become a growing trend, the 8 Mile Creek Memorial Hall went under the hammer at the weekend. The Communities Progress Association now left with the enviable task of deciding just how to spend its windfall.
It's not every day a property like this goes on the market. The 8 Mile Creek Memorial Hall and adjacent tennis courts amounting to 2 acres of prime real estate, just 5 minutes from the beach. And with community halls increasingly becoming white elephants, real estate agents predict Saturday's sale could well be the first of many.
It's probably going to set the pace for some other properties over the next few years in the district.
The decision to sell not taken lightly by the 8 Mile Creek Progress Association, and the large turnout at Saturday morning's auction showed just how difficult it was going to be to part with the icon, especially for those involved in the initial fundraising and establishment of the facility. What had in its heyday been the social hub of the 8 Mile Creek community was now about to embark on a new adventure with a new owner, and no doubt in years to come could well be barely recognisable. Things certainly starting slowly.
No one likes to start, do they?
But eventually they did. The bidding, though, progressing slowly and not reaching the reserve when things again stalled. The listing agents certainly with a few nervous moments, but after some negotiations with the two parties fighting it out for the hall, the auction resumed. A $103,000 bid eclipsing the reserve and making the property officially for sale. That bid securing the sale for Jim Kibblewhite, who is now the proud owner of the 2-acre property.
I've been watching it, thought it might go for a bit more. A lot of interest and a lot of people stopping by down here having a look.
But in the end, the local resident got what he came for.
It's unique. It's in a good part of the town down here. It's great down here, and I love it down here on the beach. Do a lot of swimming and diving. It's 5 minutes away, and it's got some character about it.
Its sale now giving the Progress Association a chance to come up with another project or projects for the community.
Anybody with any suggestions, if they contact the hall committee, and we'll look at all the different suggestions and then work out what we'll do from there.
The new owner has plans to convert the hall into a residential property.
Strong financial support from the tourism industry has ensured the South East Local Government Association will award the final $30,000 of its funding agreement to Limestone Coast Tourism. The important funding used to promote the region through various media.
The 7 South East councils contribute $185,000 collectively through the South East Local Government Association to Limestone Coast Tourism as part of a 3-year funding agreement. Selga produced the initial payment of $155,000 to the organisation, while the final $30,000 was to be handed over following the success of key performance indicators.
Which is to get industry contributions equal to that of the other partners in the agreement. They're tracking okay at this point in time. They're a little bit over $200,000 with some months to go through to the end of the period of this year's agreement. So Selga was quite happy to make the final payment.
The funds used to promote the region through various media to those living in Victoria and South Australia.
We're going to consumer shows over the next 4 weeks. We're at 4 different consumer shows, 2 in Adelaide, 2 in Melbourne, and we're doing some TV stuff coming up in the next few months. We've got our cheap fuel campaign that's running, coming into May to September period.
The cheap fuel campaign already set to be a major drawcard for the region, the office receiving 100 calls for more information on the deal before it's even officially begun.
Marketing in any case for a region is very expensive. You know, we're about to go into our cheap fuel campaign, which is about a $50,000 marketing program that we're about to undertake.
Following significant changes within the structure of the organisation, Selga is pleased with the progress Limestone Coast Tourism has made throughout the past 12 months.
I think in that time that Limestone Coast Tourism has been getting good results and all of their performance indicators have been positive.
Coming up next, Main Street Theatre on the hunt for actors and a fundraising windfall for the Royal Flying Doctors. The Mount Gambier support group for the Royal Flying Doctor Service is moving ever closer to hitting the $300,000 mark since it began fundraising for the service 10 years ago. The group picking up an extra $2,000 yesterday when the South East Street Machine handed over its takings from the annual Show and Shine.
The annual South East Street Machine Show and Shine is an institution for car lovers across the region and actually attracts people to Mount Gambier from even further afield for the October long weekend display. And while it's all about the amazing machines on display, it has a secondary purpose. It always hands over its takings to a local charity. For the past 3 years, that charity has been the local support group for the Royal Flying Doctors Service, and last year's contribution was handed over yesterday. South East Street Machine's treasurer David Klar handing over the $2,000 contribution at the club's regular monthly meeting.
The club has always supported a local charity of some sort. A few years ago we decided it was to do something new and something a little bit different, and the RFDS was chosen as being a major local sponsor that we could help out some locals and do some good for the community.
The club pinpointing the community's generosity is the reason they're able to continually make a contribution.
It's only thanks to our sponsors and the people of the area for coming to the show and supporting it that we can do that. So we certainly can't do it just as a small club on our own.
The local support group acknowledging the efforts of not just the South East Street Machines, but everyone who in the group's 10-year history has contributed to the service's life-saving work.
The support group has been going for 10 years. This year, and in that period of time we've raised $280,000 to send to Adelaide.
The group in fact celebrating that 10-year anniversary with a dinner in April to which it hopes all its supporters over the years will attend.
Main Street Theatre is on the hunt for local talent to star in its upcoming production Pictures. Pictures is based on local stories and people, but before the company can gear up for a 3-week season in May, budding thespians are being called upon to attend the auditions later this month. Pictures is the latest offering set to come out of the local theatre company's Ferris Street home, a production based on a series of photos taken by local people late last year, detailing a day in their lives. Those images were then taken to a group of local writers, with the final stories now coming together. The next stage of production is finding a cast, people of all ages and experience invited to audition.
We're looking for really versatile performers. They don't necessarily have to have been in a professional production before. The main aim is that they're enthusiastic and that they're capable of presenting a number of different stories on the stage.
Auditions will take place on the 18th of this month at Main Street Theatre. While there is some preparation required by actors, the process isn't expected to be daunting.
There's a number of pieces that Main Street have that they'll need to present, so they need to contact us to get those details and start preparing those pieces and then come in, and it won't be a very intimidating experience. I'm sure it'll be quite enjoyable.
Main Street Theatre has a strong background in presenting local stories. Over the years, many of its productions have been based on stories of this district. Pictures sent to be another showcase of local talent when it's performed throughout the South East in May, a 3-week season which includes a performance as part of the Penola Coonawarra Festival.
This is another opportunity for us to really listen to our local voices. We're using a local director and he'll be making his professional debut, so that's really exciting as well.
Well, time now to get this week in sport underway, so it's good evening to Sharny McLean.
Good evening, Dave. After the break, more silverware for the Summer Cup winner, Gould, and Yule chases down the Tigers. Gould has added to its silverware collection, adding the Bordertown Cup to its Summer Cup win in Mount Gambier earlier this month. Looking relaxed in the mounting yard prior to the 1900-metre journey, Gould just needed a second placing to draw level with the Summer Championship leader Hugo for Hugo, who wasn't a starter at Friday night's Twilight Cup. Mad Dougal is not known for his brilliant starts, and it was Tanami Prince that led the field early as they headed down the straight for the first time. But Mad Dougal is a front runner and really knows no other way to win. Not blessed with a sprinting finish, the Ararat-trained galloper soon found his way to the front, jockey Christine Pauls knowing the horse well, having guided him to the $18,000 Mount Gambier Summer Cup. Mad Dougal adding another $7,000 to his stake money with the Bordertown victory. And setting up a classic showdown this Sunday in NGARKAT for the championship decider. Two close contests and one blowout in Mount Gambier and District Tennis at the weekend. Reedy Park Royal untroubled by Gambier Blue in an 11 sets to 5 victory. The result in the other Reedy and Gambier clash, though, was much closer. So close, just one game separated the two combatants at the end of the day.
Reedy's McGregor was under the pump against big serving Mount Gambier player Petch. The number 2 man also deadly from the net, approaching fast and with quick reflexes, slotting home the winning volley. Another easy point with the serve and volley as he took a commanding lead in the clash. McGregor, though, was not to be outdone, crunching a forehand deep into the baseline and past his opponent. However, unforced errors were costly for McGregor as the match slipped away from him 6 games to 1. Cassie Edwards, though, was untroubled in her number 2 singles clash, keeping the ball in play and waiting for the error from her opponent Heemskirk. Edwards going on to win that set 6 games to 2. The overall score for the day saw each team with 8 sets to their names. However, Green finished with its nose just in front, 71 games to 70. Meanwhile, at Mulsea Park, it was the home side in control in the number 4 men's singles, Brennan playing consistent tennis against his opponent. Uniting's Kim Lavia not so consistent with the unforced error on the forehand. Then again, chasing down the big serves was also difficult on the backhand side. Brennan serving out the game to Love. In fact, he went on to claim the set for West without dropping a game. Much closer in the number 2 ladies singles as Cook and Oldfield slogged it out from the back of the court. While there were plenty of rallies, unforced errors were also a part of the game as the match hung in the balance. Cook happy to push the advantage and play up at net, she would triumph in the end, 7 games to 5. A 5 sets to 3 advantage for West after the singles proved the telling factor as the remaining 8 sets were split, 9-7 the final score. And in the final fixture, Gambier Blue couldn't find the answers against Reedy Royal, which won 5 of the 8 singles sets and 6 of the 8 doubles for a comfortable victory.
An outright victory to Millel and a psychological advantage to perennial bridesmaid Youghal were two of the highlights of Barbershire cricket at the weekend. Set a target of 225 by reigning Premier North, Youghal used its home ground advantage to perfection in compiling 9 for 255. Skipper John Clayton leading the way with a classy knock of 92.
With a big target to chase, Youghal had to play it safe against the quality bowling attack of the Tigers. Solid defence from Peter Sleep, not letting anything through. No defence on the next delivery, just a straight-out smash as it sailed long and crashed onto the roof of the club rooms. Sleep showing some elegant stroke play, whipping the ball off his pads and pushing hard for the second run. Kim Gray using short deliveries to limit the scoring. However, Sleep waited for his opportunity and cut the final ball of the over to the fence for 4. Youghal continuing to push the score along and chasing down the target, good running between the wickets on the small oval. But 2 balls later, Gray hit back courtesy of a magnificent diving catch. Another batsman sent back beyond the fence as the game teetered on the edge. Youghal, though, continued to press towards victory, a leg glance leaving the fielder with a big chase, and Sleep added another 3 to his tally. Sleep went on to make 38, combining well with the 92 from Clayton and a half-century from Jeff Hay. The victory secured and a major blow struck in the lead-up to the finals. A return to form with the bat for East, coming off a couple of lean weeks with the Willow. The red and black caps put together a handy innings in their clash with West. Daniel Stratford in a purple patch of form of late and keen to stick around to push for the win. Quality stroke play leaving West with the challenge of finding the answers. Though there is always a quicker way to score and create even more headaches for the bowling attack. The introduction of spin brought the desired result, the chase for quick runs, leaving the fielder in the outer with a simple catch. Stratford continuing to push as he remained unbeaten on 43 at the close of play. East going beyond 200 in a comprehensive win. Stratford was backed up by efforts of 38 from brother Dion and 37 from Simon Goldioski. Sargent, the pick of the West attack with 4 wickets. Meanwhile, Millel claimed maximum points against Kalangadoo despite a bowling fight back in the first innings. Millel took first inning points with a lead of 20 runs, then dismissed Kalangadoo for 114, Hale making 60 while Nathan Johnson continued his spectacular form, taking 7 for 53, his tally 11 for the match. The victory coming easy though, 1 for 98 in reply.
Good news for our South East cricketers tonight, finally racking up their second win of the State Country Championships. The inclusion of Peter Sleep into the combination certainly having an effect, as he made his mark with both the bat and the ball, while David Summerfield and Ben Clark showed their best form of the tournament to make sure the target defence was a successful one. And Dave, that is all in Monday Night Sport.
Thank you very much, Sharny. Well, turning now to Saturday Lotto, and the numbers in drawn order were 5, 27, 15, 21, 37 and 43. The sub 16 and 42. Division 1 was split between 29 winners, each taking home $111,000, right down to Division 5, which paid out $26.30. Stay with us after the break. A look ahead to the week in southeast weather. Temperature-wise across the state today, maxima range from 44 degrees at Moomba down to 18 at Parawa. In Mount Gambier, we hit 21 degrees at 1 minute to 3 this afternoon, a low of 11.4 at 11 minutes past 2 this morning. Let's see how the weather pattern shaped up. It's been quite erratic today. Mild to start with as the change went through, gusty southwest to southerly winds, cooling temperatures leading to a few showers, 0.4 of a millimetre of rain. Conditions clearing with a few showers expected this evening in the area. Fine and partly cloudy morning tomorrow before a mostly sunny afternoon. To the satellite picture, there is areas of low-level cloud on the map just around Mount Gambier at the moment. Scattered cumulus of cloud associated with a weak front passing through. The sky is clearing up considerably tomorrow afternoon. Isolated showers clearing in the Western District. A cool to mild and partly cloudy day. Fresh to strong southwesterly winds moderating overnight. Afternoon coastal sea breezes. Fine tomorrow in the southeast, apart from some morning cloud, clearing to a mostly sunny afternoon. Mild to warm with mainly moderate south to southeasterly winds. On the coast, winds southeasterly 15 to 20 knots, easing during the morning to 10 to 15, turning northeasterly in the evening and increasing to 18 knots. Seas 1 to 2 metres with a south to southwesterly swell of 2.5 to 3.5. Fine in Melbourne tomorrow, top of 21 after an overnight of 13. Fine and mostly sunny in Adelaide, 28 degrees the forecast maximum after 15 overnight. 22 the predicted top for Mount Gambier tomorrow after 10 overnight. Keith the top of 26, Narracourt 25, Coonawarra 24 and Hamilton 21 after 8. Now the fire danger rating in the upper and lower southeast is high, the Western District moderate to high. And tonight's junior forecaster is a magnificent picture of a rainbow sent in to us by Brittany Howes of Mount Burr Primary School. Thank you, Brittany. That is news for the southeast for this evening. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Australia's largest regional television network.